Welcome to the Alternative Investor. As investors broaden their search for income, many have started to look towards alternative assets. For many years, property was the asset that dominated most investors' alternatives allocations. In recent years, however, the range of alternative investment options available to investors has expanded in size, depth and breadth and now encompasses a wide range of asset classes. Today, we'll be looking at investing in property with Matt Koury from the Kouro Property Group. Matt, thank you so much for your time.
A big fan of the show, and it's a real privilege to be on.
So, Matt, let's talk about the property industry in South Africa. I mean, what's your take on it right now?
Yeah, so I think there's different opinions at the moment, Anastasia. I think that it's, in my opinion, a real mixed bag. Some people say the property market is holding steady. Others are saying it's in deep decline. I personally think it depends on what role you're playing within property and also what sector you're involved in. And what I mean by role is not just those that are involved in property directly, but also those that are consumers in the property sector, such as your buyers or your tenants. I think it's a fantastic time to be a home buyer at this present time. I mean, interest rates are extremely low, and they might even go down even further. So I really think that, as a buyer, you've got all the power. You've got plenty of stock to choose from. You've got fantastic interest rates, and really it can't be a better time to be a buyer. And even a tenant, because, as a tenant, there's a lot of available rentals at the moment, and, that allows you to really find what you're looking for and really negotiate a favorable rent with many landlords that are desperate to rent out their property. What I also think from stakeholders within the property industry is that, if you're a commercial landlord or you own an office park, it's a really, really difficult time with most companies staying away from their offices, etc. It's very, very difficult. So from their perspective, the market couldn't be worse. to be frank.
Right.
So if you're in other sectors such as, residential or your warehousing, it's looking a lot better outlook.
So let's talk about some of the projects that you're involved in as the Kouro Property Group. I mean, what do you take into consideration before, embarking on a particular project?
Sure. So we're predominantly involved in the residential sector. So we target residential properties, and we target buying properties below market value. So we're really all about empowering all stakeholders on each deal that we do. So often we are approached by distressed sellers that are finding that they're falling behind on their bond payments, or their properties are in really bad condition. They're in some sort of financial situation, and they need to sell their property quickly. Now, a lot of properties are not selling quickly at this point in time, so they need new solutions, which is what Kouro provides. So we target properties like that. We try and find a win-win solution for all, and we do a thorough due diligence on each deal that we do. And through that due diligence, we try and identify properties that give us at least a 15% return on investment, and we're able to then share that type of return with investors that we partner with on each and every deal that we do.
All right, Matt, unfortunately, we're running out of time. We'll have to leave it there. That is Matt Koury, who is from the Kouro Property Group. Moving things a bit, looking at Bitcoin, that mania appears to be almost back in full bloom, rather. The largest cryptocurrency surging again, while other risk-on assets such as stocks approach record highs, and even gold hits fresh daily milestones. After briefly exceeding just over $12,000 over the weekend for the first time in a year, before experiencing a flash crash that pushed it almost back to $10,000, Bitcoin is quickly reapproaching that higher level. As such, some analysts are convinced that Bitcoin is now more of a macro asset, meaning that it responds to large-scale events in the world's economies. Gold and Bitcoin could continue to rise as governments and central banks are unlikely to slow or halt liquidity-boosting programs launched this year to counter the coronavirus-induced recession. Well, that's it from me. We'll be back with more of your news at 1 o'clock from me. Goodbye.